Earlier this spring, more than 270,000 fans crowded into the Miami International Autodrome to see the world's fastest drivers go head-to-head on the grid. Just to give you a sense of scale, that crowd size is 4 times what the Super Bowl drew in attendance this year. Even Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is averaging just over 72,000 fans per show. About 5 years ago, the thought of a glitzy European motorsport being the hottest ticket in the American South might have seemed unimaginable. But in 2019, things changed.
I am Daniel Ricciardo. I was born in Perth, Australia, and I'm a Formula 1 driver. Sounds pretty good when I say that.
On this episode of Growth Stories, we're breaking down the pedal-to-the-metal rise of Formula 1 and what the sport's growth says about the future of the auto industry. Motorsports is having a bit of a moment.
This is not going in Drive to Survive, I'm telling you.
The popularity of Formula 1 has been turbocharged by Netflix's Drive to Survive series, especially here in the States. The racing series saw record attendance totals in 2022 and also set records for viewership in the US last year. And the global race calendar keeps expanding. Here in America, there are now 3 chances to see a Formula 1 event thanks to the addition of the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix this fall.
Netflix has done wonders for the sport.
The voice you're hearing belongs to Zach Brown, the head of McLaren Racing. He credits Liberty Media's 2017 acquisition of Formula 1 as the spark that ignited the renaissance of racing.
It's brought in youth, it's brought in women, it's brought in North America, in addition to just globally bringing a lot of exposure to the sport.
And as you can imagine, all that exposure has attracted, well, a lot of money. And it's not just Formula 1's fan base that's expanding, but more big-name companies are revving up investments in motorsports.
Partnerships are the lifeblood of a Formula 1 team.
If anyone has mastered the art of the deal, it's McLaren's American Team Principal. The British-based company has one of the more robust sponsorship rosters on the grid. That lineup includes companies that a lot of investors are probably familiar with: Google, Coca-Cola, Salesforce, and Cisco, just to name a few.
We're trying to be the most exciting racing team in the world to fans and the most compelling commercial proposition and opportunity to our partners.
But let's step back for a moment and look at how Formula 1 makes its money. The series makes revenue through several key sources: by selling racing rights to different cities across the world, selling broadcast rights for those races to air, and sponsorships.
We do think that sponsorship advertising is a growth opportunity, and it's an opportunity for Formula 1. It's an opportunity for many other companies.
That's Barton Crockett. He's a senior analyst at Rosenblatt Securities, whose coverage includes Liberty Media and Formula 1 stocks. He says that sponsorships account for about 1/5 of the total revenue for Formula 1, and that number could grow.
The sponsorships are really more affluent focused and not as vulnerable to some of the economic kind of headwinds that we're seeing.
Corporate partnerships are also a key source of income for the 10 teams on the grid. Since their official debut on the 1968 Monaco circuit, Formula 1 liveries have showcased the logos of everything from oil and gas giants, spirits and soft drinks, and tobacco. More recently, those sponsorships have taken on a high-tech flavor, from chip makers like AMD and Qualcomm to software companies like Salesforce, VMware, CrowdStrike, and Palantir. So why do companies see Formula 1 as a good investment? There's, of course, one obvious benefit these companies see in aligning with a popular motorsport: access to a huge global audience.
What's happening is that marketers are trying to find new ways to get in front of audiences.
And the Formula 1 audience is massive. In 2022, north of 1.5 billion viewers tuned in. And Crockett says Formula 1's US expansion makes it an even more attractive property.
This is the market with the largest ad revenue opportunity, the largest sponsorship opportunity, and a large community of sport-loving television viewers.
But McLaren's Brown explains that the benefits of corporate partnerships go far beyond the television screens.
You have companies that join you because they want to reach fans. You have companies that join you because they want to meet other corporations. So what they both have in common is they want to build business.
Brown says that innovation is one of the key motivations for companies who are investing resources in Formula One.
I think the reason why so many tech partners like to play in motorsports and Formula One is we're on the cutting edge of technology.
And McLaren knows about being on the cutting edge. The legendary racing team was one of the first to deploy telemetry units on its cars in 1975 to collect and measure performance data, and also one of the first to put computer chips on board its vehicles. The team's innovations extend far beyond the track. Technology developed in McLaren's UK headquarters has made its way into surgery rooms, airport flight control systems, and even toothpaste factories.
I think the biggest benefit that I see in working with someone like McLaren is they're truly a pioneer and an innovator in their field.
You're hearing Jeetu Patel. He's one of the top executives of Cisco's WebEx platform. McLaren became interested in the cloud computing company after the pandemic all but slammed the brakes on the 2020 season. The two inked a partnership deal in 2021 that brought WebEx's collaboration tools into the McLaren garage to stay connected with fans and to help their socially distanced engineering team collaborate on future car designs with hologram meeting technology.
You're designing a car and you want to be able to make sure you sit across from each other in 3 dimensions and be able to go out and manipulate the object, which is the car. The physical tactile pieces in hardware development can be compensated to some degree by these kind of augmented reality and virtual reality type of experiences, which we've been able to do large part because of thanks to them pushing us and thanks to them actually being great partners of ours.
Patel says Cisco has been able to develop and advance its WebEx technology because of the partnership with McLaren. That deal was extended last year to include the development of Wi-Fi 6E technology in the paddock.
The beauty about McLaren is they're so focused on precision and timing because of the nature of the business that they're in. It's actually pushed us to new boundaries that, where every millisecond counts. And that's just the culture of what the organization's like. And it's really helped us actually make our product highly performant, fine-tuned for every single kind of edge case that they might have.
So what does all this innovation say about the auto industry's high-tech future?
We're really excited about the automotive industry in general because it's an industry going through a massive transformation.
Patel is, of course, talking about the electric vehicle transformation that is reshaping the auto industry. He says the switch from internal combustion engines to battery-operated cars will radically change what consumers expect from their automobiles. And as our cars continue to get smarter, companies are integrating advanced software-enabled features that are available at drivers' fingertips.
The role of a vehicle in someone's lives might actually be much more significant than what it used to be in the past.
The electric revolution is also coming to Formula One. Last year, the FIA, which is the governing body of the sport, overhauled its engine regulations for the 2026 season to focus on the use of more sustainable fuel and battery power. Those changes brought an American icon back into the fold after more than 20 years away from the sport. In February, Ford announced it would partner with the championship Red Bull team. The Detroit automaker will work with the Austrian racing outfit and its sister team AlphaTauri to develop next-gen power units over the next 5 years.
We want to be a tech partner in powertrains with Red Bull. We want to go to the front of the pack.
That's Ford CEO Jim Farley speaking to Siempre Auto about why the legacy automaker got back on the grid. Ford is looking to bring its expertise in battery technology to the Red Bull paddock in exchange for data on how to improve vehicle aerodynamics.
Turns out, in the EV world, aero becomes super important because we can shrink the size and cost of the battery.
Ford isn't the only manufacturer eyeing Formula One deals. Last year, Volkswagen-owned Audi announced it would become a strategic partner of Alfa Romeo and supply the Italian team's cars with its power units. Porsche and General Motors were also angling to arrange potential partnership deals with Formula One teams earlier this year.
The technology in these Formula One cars, and not just the cars themselves, but the entire environment, is unbelievable.
That technology can be pretty pricey to develop. Some estimates put the total cost of developing a Formula One engine in the neighborhood just north of $1 billion. But cost caps have leveled the playing field in Formula One and may make it easier for companies like Ford to get a return on their investment. And the Wall Street Journal reports that as luxury automakers like Mercedes and Ferrari go electric, their historic racing brands might help boost their bottom lines.
I think there's a real natural synergy with the tech world and Formula One, and they converge quite naturally.